Yo, 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 what's up, guys? It's another episode of the Market Shenanigans. I got a little bit of time here today, so I thought I'm gonna do the batch analysis because, yo, guess what? Week 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 documented trades. What? Is the market back or what? I don't know. Maybe I just read the context wrong, but I don't think so, man. I think the markets are back a little bit and we might see some action. So I'm happy to be able to do the batch analysis again after a long time of like relatively nothing. Like this week was quite active. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's take a look at week 19, what was going on, and whether I was able to follow my rules properly, which is the most important thing. I already filled everything in the Excel sheet as well, and yeah, I'll get to that later, I guess. So, starting off Monday, looks like I have some context here. So I was following AUD USD on the weekly, pretty nice weekly move, right? On the daily, this looks like a very nice bullish market. Kind of a nice impulse, started reaccumulating, or actually reaccumulated, broke into new highs, and is holding the current momentum cycle, breaking above a resistance point. Yes, this is perfect. This is exactly the type of area where I want to be involved, right? So that was very nice. JPN 225, nice, but actually I think this needs to break out. Like I would not trade here, I think, and I probably write something about it later. We'll see. I hope I write something because at that point it wasn't quite ready. And NAS 100, very nice weekly move after a reaccumulation of a strong impulse, perfect. And now it's just moving higher on the daily. Yeah, this might look overextended, but I think if I trade this on like the 1 minute and the 10-second, I can definitely squeeze something more out of this. So those were the contexts for the day. No news. I got everything in here. And when I go to the watch list, I just say NAS 100 looks good, nothing else. So as you can see, I don't have any JPN 225 here, even though it was on the contexts. I was probably just watching it to see if it's going to break out harder or something like that, but nothing. And here we have US 100 or NAS 100, whatever. And on the 10-minute, it's kind of moving higher, but here it's a little bit, I mean, it makes sense, right? It breaks higher, good impulse, finds some equilibrium, and then goes higher here. I would say this is a little bit weak. Like this whole impulse over here, this momentum cycle, it's not the best, I would say. It's like, I wouldn't call this strong necessarily, but it's not bad either. It's like a bit in between. This pullback is relatively shallow, but from there it didn't really go higher. And I don't know. Honestly. Seems a bit weak. So yeah, NAS 100 looks good apparently, and I take a trade on NAS 100. So let's take a look. Where do I have my Miro? I have it right over here. So I think that's this trade. So it already deserved a spot on the context for the weekly and daily, right? So here I look at the 1000. So this is a very nice, clear momentum cycle, I would say. Let's go for white. Here's the 100 minutes, so some kind of chop happening over here, nothing too interesting. I was looking to get involved here maybe, but that didn't even tap me in and failed. Looked for something over here that makes a lot of sense, and now looking for something over here. That's pretty good. But here we are on the 10-minute, and this is a 10-minute entry, actually, because, well, there is a diagonal horizontal, right? And this candle over here breaks over it. So as it pulls back, I can set up the buy stop, which is exactly what I did. So fractally, I kind of like it. The only thing I don't like too much is the strength of this impulse over here. I think that could be a little bit stronger, to be quite honest. That could, if this was stronger, I would be like, yes, perfect. But here I'm just like, it's not bad, but it could be better. So I'm gonna call it good. And I think that ends up being a -1, right? Yeah, that just taps me in and instantly fucks me up. So that's a little bit unfortunate. And I guess if the previous stage 2 was a bit more impulsive, I guess it would showcase that there is a clear overpowering of demand over supply and also a lack of supply, right? It's like a very one-sided market. Whereas if I take a look over here, I mean, it is demand overpowering supply, but there is still a lot of supply, right? Quite a lot of supply. So I would much rather have skipped this, to be quite honest. Like, if this is my E, I think this needs to be a bit stronger. So yeah, not too bad, but not exactly good either. I'm just gonna say good, but could definitely be better. I'm gonna write that down. All right, this could definitely be better. The 10-minute E preceding stage 2 is quite weak. This is the 1 minute. Yeah. Here, the 10-minute, this stuff. Okay, so that's that. No reflection. Cool. So that's my first -1 for the day. Let's go to Tuesday. Nothing. All right. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday. So I was watching JPN 225 here. If you remember, on Monday, it was still inside this range, but now it's actually breaking out. It had a breakout day closed, and now it's going higher. This is perfect. Absolutely beautiful. Like, this is exactly where I want to trade. NAS 100. Yeah, same situation as last time. This is just still moving higher. This is looking amazing. AUD USD looking really good as well. And also USD JPY, but I think I actually decided to take it off the watch list afterwards, because here, even though there is a stage 1 and we're breaking down, and this could very much continue lower, I really don't like these lower wicks over here. That's like clear proof that there is demand here, and I don't really want to trade here. This doesn't look good. So UJ was actually not on my watch list. So I fill in the news, the alarms, the watch list, and everything, and this is what the 10 minutes looks like. So this is on my left on my laptop screen, and I look at this every day. So here, JPN 225 definitely makes some sense, right? As it's breaking higher, I could definitely see this trend continue. AUD USD looks decent. Nice move over here, now reaccumulating. And this US 100 is a little bit, I would rather see like a straight up reaccumulation in a new cycle. I think this is already exhausted. And UJ, yeah, I decided not to watch that actually. So some things look decent, just need reignition. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 trades here. So, sheesh. Let's go ahead and take a look. Actually, this, before we take a look, I'm just going to fill this in. What do I want to see? Not see, say, week. Yeah. All right, so JPN 225, 1000. Breaking into a new range, reaccumulated just above, and now breaking out with strong momentum above a resistance. Beautiful. There's a 100-minute, right? Broke out, already pulled back a little bit, continues higher. This could easily continue. Here we are on the 10-minute. This reaccumulation over here, how would I mark it up? I would probably mark it up like this. So only after this candle would I actually go on a lower time frame, and that condition is met, so I can go to the lower time frame. Here we have the first move that reaccumulates a little bit, chops around here for stage 1, and then it breaks out really strongly, pulls back with a not a shallow pullback, but not a deep pullback. Like, this is still completely fine. So continuation here makes a lot of sense. And as it pulls back, I set up my buy order. Here, I just wanted to say see a reaccumulation, which happens over here. So beautiful. And what actually ends up happening? Bruh. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. That's a beautiful win. That's a beautiful win. +5. Yay. So how do I manage? So it taps me in over here, stays for a few minutes, and then just absolutely explodes. I pretty much immediately go risk-free after this. I mean, if price comes back after such a move, that's bullshit. I don't want to be part of that, right? So yeah, reduced risk, and within a few minutes, it hits +5. So that was very satisfying to watch live. Tracking max RR, huh? So I guess it's still running. Yeah, it's this trade over here, which is currently sitting at 24R. Sheesh. But yeah, that's irrelevant to me. That's irrelevant to me because I'm taking 5R fixed. So whatevs. All right, so that was trade 1. Let's go for the next one. And here we have a NAS 100 trade. Okay, one of the things that I was watching. Nice. So the 1000, pretty obvious, big momentum move. Pretty obvious on the 100 as well. Here it was a little bit stage one-y, right? But here it's definitely moving higher. So good area to look. 10-minute goes sideways, breaks out. After this candle, I start watching, right? So as this pulls back, I'm definitely looking to get into that reaccumulation. And here I am on the 1 minute. And I would say that the flippy zone is here. That breaks out and it pulls back. Here, I would say this reaccumulates. And this is the entry that I take. If I remember correctly, I wanted to already take this MB entry, but then I decided not to. And here, I'm just wondering if this is a good entry or not. I think it is. I think it is. This pullback is not deep, so I would say this is a relatively shallow pullback, although it does happen in a quite abrupt fashion. I would say I would much rather see something consistent like this, like time and time again. This is what proves to be working really nicely when there's like waves of selling and you can see them. Right here, it's kind of just like a big dump. And from there, it just builds up, it breaks through, and here, this entry does make sense. But here, this thing, I don't know, it seems like a V-shaped pullback. So that's like the one thing that I would dislike about it. But overall, amazing area to trade in. Maybe like the E, I'm not 100% sure. Either way, I'm okay with this trade. By the way, this is the previous one. I'm okay with this trade. I think it's fine. Got in with a limit, and yeah, that taps me in and pretty much instantly fucks me up. I wanted to see price break above the floating supply, and I would reduce risk completely. Doesn't happen. All good. Whoop. All right. Trade 3, NAS 100 again. So what happened? What happened? So previously I was trading over here. If I get that correctly, yes, this was the trade, right? That reaccumulates and then it breaks above all of this, breaks above and pulls back, and I take this as an MB entry above the floating supply and stuff. And the reasoning for that is that, yes, I'm definitely looking for like an MB here to trade it higher, right? Makes total sense. I just want to see a reaccumulation that is not going to break this momentum cycle. And that happens here. That condition is met really nicely. Big impulse that reaccumulates right here. And that allows me to set up the buy stop. So I think that was a good trade as well. And that goes higher. Let's actually see what that does. So yeah, taps me in, fucks around a little bit, but ultimately goes higher. And at around here, I would have reduced risk or probably went risk-free. And yeah, that comes back to a break even. But I think this was a very nice trade. And I actually didn't take this, I remember, and I hesitated. I hesitated, which is a red category over here. That's not good. I should not be hesitating. I should know whether this is good or bad. And I really think the reason why I hesitated was because normally, like my entries, I kind of take them under the floating supply. But at the same time, if I trade it over here, right, and I trade this as a 1 minute entry, I believe, right? I think so. I think this is a 1 minute entry. If I was trading a 10-second, I would be valid to trade a 10-second entry over here underneath the floating supply. So why wouldn't I be able to set up this buy stop, right? I mean, that makes just as much sense. If I'm willing to take a risk here, why would I not take the risk here? It's the pretty much exact same setup. So that's why I hesitated. I wasn't completely sure, but it makes total sense. It's happening in a perfect area. Very nice. So this was a good trade and I was supposed to take it. So ultimately it was a mistake that I did not take it. It was a good trade. Yeah. How do I do this? Whatever. So this was good. And then there was one more trade. Okay, one more. So what happens here? Let me see. So we're on the 10-minute here. Okay, so previously we were here. So that's somewhere over here, right? Okay, got it. So we go higher and we pull back into the demand zone where this impulse started. We chop around a little bit here. We create a stage one, we break out and we create a nice MMB over here. And this looks like a nice 10-minute entry even. Maybe I do take it on the 10-minute. I don't know. So here, if this was a 10-minute entry, what I need to see on the 1 minute is a react, right? So that means some low liquidated, some kind of liquidation event happening, which definitely happens here. I can see a nice flippy zone. We break above that, so an entry over here makes a lot of sense, actually. I like this entry. This is a good entry. And what does that do? That taps me in and instantly fucks me up. All right, dude. That happens. So 10-minute entry, right? Yes. So if I look at this, could there be anything done better? Actually, now that I mention it, if this is a 10-minute E, yeah, dude, whoa, wait a second. This is a 10-minute E. I remember I was complaining about another 10-minute entry here, about this one, right? If I complained about this one, that it was weak, and if I compare it to this one looks pretty trashy too, doesn't it? I mean, it's definitely a V-shaped pullback, right? I mean, didn't I even... I wrote that here. Okay, I wrote that here. Never mind. But yeah, that's a V-shaped pullback. I would have much rather... Yeah, this was maybe a little bit impatient of me, honestly. This could have been better. Like, if this was a nice flagging pullback, I would be much more confident to take this. But this was kind of aggressive. So ultimately, if I was presented this opportunity right now, would I take it or not? Honestly, I would say no to this. Yeah, and that taps me in and instantly fucks me up. Honestly, I think this was a mistake. Did I take it? Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't like this one. This is too deep. Like, an entry should not be from a deep pullback. This is most definitely a deep pullback, right? I mean, there's no argument. Deep pullback. That's one thing, and it's V-shaped also. So yeah, ideally, I would want to not trade this stuff. Not trade this stuff. So if this breaks higher into a new range, I can start following it here, right? I mean, if this is a 10-minute, I can get setups on the 1 minute and the 10 seconds, plenty of them. But I think I should have let this prove itself a little bit more. This was kind of ugly. Nah, don't like this one, honestly. Oh well, whatever. No reflection, cool. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, still some context here. Okay, so let's see. JPN still on the rise. Yep, makes a lot of sense. NAS 100 probably still on the rise as well. Yep. And AUD USD, same story. Okay, so watching these three makes a lot of sense. Here we are in the 10-minute. So 10-minute, JPN breaking out higher. This looks awesome. This looks so good. US 100 breaking higher looks very, very nice as well. AUD USD breaking higher looks okay. Looks okay. Looks the worst out of the three, I would say. Yeah, looks the worst, but still acceptable context. So here, JPN, okay, look decent. And here is a trade on NAS 100. So I assume that's this one. Okay. So here we are, right? This is pretty much the same the whole week. Here we have a 10-minute. Was trading this previously, makes a lot of sense to trade here. Then it reaccumulates. Probably made sense to trade somewhere over here. I think I actually traded here, I'm not sure. Taps higher over here and then reaccumulates again. And then breaks higher above this flippy zone over here and creates an MMB, I guess. Let's see this on the 1 minute. So this is the breakout. And what does it do? This is a 10-second entry. Okay. So stage one breaks out, reaccumulates, relatively, I would say, shallow pullback. Like, this is the whole impulse, right? and this is the pullback. That's shallow, I would say. And here on this candle, it becomes valid to look for a setup. So after this candle over here, I set up the buy stop, and this is like barely, like, it's okay. It's still all right, but something feels a little bit off here. Like, it's really wicky, isn't it? I just thought that the wickiness, the general wickiness, like especially in this area over here, all happens in the stage one, right? In the stage one of this. So it's expected to see wickiness there. And then I saw a big impulse over here with a shallow pullback. So I thought that looks kind of decent. And here on the 10-second, I think this looks liquid. This looks okay. I like this trade. I have no problem with this trade. And what happens? Whoa, okay. Yeah, I actually remember. This one goes to 4.89, and I didn't take it because I was working on something else. Okay, I wasn't paying attention to the market at all, recorded some chess. All right, makes sense. I would have reduced risk after this. Like this, I didn't want to reduce risk because I wanted to give it space for the pullback, or I would have wanted to. And only after the breakout above this, I would actually reduce risk. And risk-free after a while, like, I don't know where exactly, but at this point, if it comes back, it's just wrong, right? And that goes to 4.89 and comes all the way back to break even. So ultimately, I should have, well, was working on something else. I guess I should have taken that, to be honest. So it's a mistake that I didn't take it. But yeah, it was definitely a valid trade based on my system, and a very nice trade, I would say. Good opportunity. Okay, so that's Thursday. And then Friday. I have nothing filled out here on Friday because I woke up in the morning, I checked the markets, they looked kind of trash, right? And then, what happened then? Then, okay, it was hot as fuck, and after workout when I took this, oh yeah, okay, I remember. Yeah, I actually worked out in my gym a little bit, I smoked some weed, and then I came back and I checked the markets. I don't know, was it around like 4 p.m. or something? Yeah, 15:31, I see. I checked the market and I saw that JPN looks really good. And I triple checked everything, so I hope it's good. I had very little time to make a decision. Yeah, I came in and the setup was literally just forming. And I know from past experience that when this would happen, I would often make a mistake because I simply didn't have enough time to analyze everything properly and check. But this time I really made sure that I checked that everything is good, and it was good. And I set up the buy order. And I think that was 15:26 when I did that. And then I have an alarm for 15:27 to alert me that New York Exchange is going to open in 3 minutes. So I set up the order, I get the alert, and I'm like, whoa, holy shit. I almost took a trade into New York Open. So I immediately canceled the order. That was a bit of a mistake there. It wouldn't have made a difference ultimately, yeah, but I don't want to basically have an open order, a fresh order through New York Open. I just don't want to do that. So I canceled it. I waited till 15:31, and then I got into this trade. So this trade, let's see it from the beginning. So JPN 225 right here. Okay. So this is a beautiful chart, right? Nice little stage one over here, very shallow, right? This base over here compared to this is very shallow, beautiful. Breaks out over here. Here, this is definitely a nice little pullback and continuation. This could easily go to like 67 to 70K. I can see that happening, easy. Here we are on the 100, beautiful impulse over here. This is, by the way, the trade that I took, the previous winner this week. And then it pulls back, right? Creates this little horizontal over here, the diagonal as well, but not that relevant. And here it breaks out, kinda decent, I would say, and it creates an MMB. I think this could have easily continued. Here on the 10-minute, this is relatively nice, reaccumulates, right? This is a flippy zone. And here, this candle, like, is a trigger candle for me to go to a lower time frame and look for an entry. Here it just liquidates the floating supply. But if it immediately after that creates a beautiful reaccumulation, just like this one, I see absolutely no problem with taking that. So here we have the big impulse, right? And then it starts reaccumulating. And even though it's a little bit choppy, you can see the waves at least. You can like really see the consistent market movement. It's not a dump. So that's like the most important thing to me. So here's the flippy, here's the diagonal, right? Breaks out. On this candle, I was looking to set a buy stop if there's a nice little reaccumulation, which there is. Set it up, and yeah, this one I think goes to +5 as well. So I think how it worked actually with the setting up is, actually I got into this with a limit because the tap-in happened just before New York Open, and since BE rules were not met yet, it was okay to take it. So yeah, it happened here, and on this little dip here, it taps me in, because here I would not have reduced risk just yet. It just didn't show enough strength away from my entry. So yeah, I could get into it. And at this point, I went risk-free, and that went to another +5. So that was really, really nice. Well executed. So that was good. All right, so let's go to analysis and let's see what was going on. So this week, trades taken. I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades. 2 of those were winners, 3 were losses. So in total, I'm up 6R, which is really, really nice. I'm happy with that. But maybe there were some mistakes. So maybe I could show this property of decision. That would be nice. Oop. Ah, yeah, okay. So now here I can see mistakes. Beautiful. Okay, let me actually, before I forget it, let me go into my template here and edit that template. And do that right in analysis. No, not filter. I want to show properties. What am I doing? I kind of, oh yeah, here, okay. Kinda derped, I forgot what it is I'm doing. Actually, it's not this one, it's trades taken. Hello? Yes. Jesus Christ, just make it bigger. What am I doing? Trades taken, yes, and show me the decision. Bruh, okay, good. Now it's set up. Sorry about that, just didn't want to forget. So yeah, one of them were a mistake. So if I look at the mistakes here, well, actually, I would have probably taken, let's see what the perfect week would look like. 6.8, okay, because one of the losses I would not have taken, but I would have taken an additional 2 break-evens, which for some reason I didn't. So yeah, let's write that down. Okay. So what went well? I was definitely patient. I definitely followed rules. What went bad? Well, there was one mistake, which was, yeah, okay, so didn't take 2 valid trades for kinda silly reasons. That was one problem. And there was this one, this -1. What was wrong here? Yeah, okay, and let's be more careful with the V-shaped pullbacks. With the deep and V-shaped pullbacks. That's probably the #1 thing that I want to filter out. Like, that's time and time again when I see this kind of price action, it's just not worth trading. I don't know. So results this week. Results this week. Boom. +6. And had I traded perfectly, it would be 6.8. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So that's very nice. I mean, awesome. I caught 2 wins this week. I had quite a few trades. And it was fun. It was really fun to see some setups finally happening, to follow some markets. Finally, I can feel a little bit like a trader. That's cool. So with that being said, now that the market is a little bit more awake, I want to once again give myself big props and respect for not trading during the trash markets, because that is so important in my opinion. Like being able to patiently wait for when the markets are in the best context is, in my opinion, the number one skill that we as traders need to do, the patience and the emotional control and discipline to not trade when we feel like it, basically, like not forcing trades. That in 2025, that was most definitely a big problem of mine, and the beginning of 26 probably still as well. But this recent market, the recent like 6 months or whatnot, has really humbled me. But I took my lessons, I learned how to be patient, and I think it shows. So now, once the markets start going and they are in nice context, I'm going to start taking more trades, and I think my EV is finally going to show. So here I am on the Excel sheet. Let's zoom out a little bit. I'm currently in minus 17R still. I'm not entirely sure whether I will actually climb out of this or whether I will go for a challenge already, because if the markets are to be good right now, I kind of feel like I want to take some risks, because who knows how long this is going to last, right? Gotta appreciate while we have it. So yeah, still in this reaccumulation, but overall, just if I traded in these past 6 months like furiously, I think this would be so negative. It would just, I would be so depressed. But instead, I paid attention to other things. I enjoyed life. It was all good. And now if the markets are going to be better, hey, I'm here for it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to capture it. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, I think that's all for this week. It was fun. How long have I been yapping for? 30 minutes. That's not so bad. I thought it would be worse. All right. So that's it from me. I'll see you guys in the markets next week. Peace.